The Australian media, and in fact a lot of the global media, have reported today that Japan is trying to sidestep China to get its battery materials, as in lithium and everything else it needs, from Australia and Canada. It's basically saying we don't want to use China. The United States is in full support of this idea. And the media are saying that basically Japan are going to somehow suddenly reinvent their automotive industry to become this electric car manufacturing powerhouse, battery manufacturing powerhouse. Is this actually true? I mean, is this the media telling us just nonsense, or is there some truth behind this story? Hello, my friends. Welcome to the channel. It's great to see you. Thank you for tuning in. I'm Sam Evans. You're watching the Electric Viking. Welcome to all the new subscribers. Great to have you, and welcome back everyone else. Now, before I tell you this story, which I'm sure some of you have heard, but many people I know haven't heard about this yet, here's some context. The biggest battery manufacturing country in the world, of course, is China. In fact, China makes around about 80% of the world's lithium batteries today. They make around 95% of the world's lithium iron phosphate batteries, which are currently on average the cheapest battery chemistry worldwide. So they basically own the battery market. Now, this will change. Will it change because of Japan? Will it change because of the United States? Will it change because of Europe? Well, keep this in context, right? US companies and South Korean companies have committed to investing hundreds of billions of dollars into battery manufacturing in the United States. Japan, have you heard about much investment going on there in the battery industry, refining lithium, making batteries? Yeah, they do have Panasonic, but not a lot really in terms of their actual battery production is happening in Japan. Now, Japan is hoping to change this. They want to rewrite this book. They want to basically say, we're going to sidestep China. We're going to basically say, you thought we lost this race. No, not true. Not the case at all. Japan is apparently lobbying Australia for electric car battery minerals and rare earths. More than half of the world's lithium comes from Australia. A lot of people are investing in these lithium mining companies. Australia could be part of Japan's plan to secure a China-free supply of electric vehicle battery minerals and rare earths. Japan is hoping, apparently, to sidestep China. News outlet Nikkei Asia reports that Japanese government ministers have been in discussion with their counterparts in the two countries as the US pushes for manufacturing nations to develop China-free supply chains. A Japanese official told Nikkei Asia that Australia and Canada are ideal partners as they share the same sense of caution against China. So right now, if you make batteries in the United States, if they're manufactured in the US, they qualify for EV incentives. Now, that will change. Next year, if you get your battery cells from China and then you repackage them in the US, which is what Tesla is doing for some of their cars, some other manufacturers are doing the same thing. Ford, for example, do that as well with their lithium iron phosphate powered models. Well, what they're saying is it doesn't matter where the lithium comes from, because today the reason those battery packs get the EV incentive is because they qualify for the free trade partner agreement. So China is getting the lithium from Australia, and then it's putting that lithium into a battery and then sending it to the US. So that rule will change. Next year, if you get the battery cells from China, you don't qualify for the EV incentive, even if the battery materials are from Australia. So that strategy won't work in the future. And Japan is saying, well, maybe we can kind of be the supplier of these battery packs or these batteries. And not only that, they're saying maybe this will save our automotive industry. The Japanese media have reported that Japanese government ministers have been in discussions with their counterparts in the US and in Australia. And a Japanese official told Nikkei, and it's understood that representatives from Japan have visited Australian officials this year on a number of occasions, before Japan's trade minister and officials from large battery companies also visited Canada only a few weeks ago. This was the first time such a meeting has occurred on Canadian soil in a decade, and it comes right after a mega battery factory was announced for Canada worth $5.1 billion US. However, other manufacturing countries such as South Korea have already tried to secure Australian and Canadian sourced minerals. So there's some competition here. Japan is competing with the traditional manufacturers, China. They're also competing with South Korea, and they're also competing now with the United States. Obviously, the United States is getting a lot of its lithium from countries in South America, but it also gets some of it from Australia as well. Despite more than half of the world's lithium being found in Australia and mined there today, the International Energy Agency reports the majority of the world's lithium materials are refined and processed in China. And remember Elon Musk, what did he say about lithium? He said, refining lithium is a license to print money. Now, no one took him seriously. I think everyone thought he was just being hyperbolic and Elon saying Elon things. That's not really true, though. CATL are the wealthiest privately owned company in China. Now, when I say privately owned, they are listed on the Shenzhen Stock Exchange. But what I mean is they're not owned by the Chinese government. In other words, they're basically the biggest company in China, period. They make billions of dollars. What do? They make batteries. Now, the world's biggest lithium refining company is based in China, and they also make billions of dollars as well. So I think Elon Musk was right. If you can refine lithium, you can make a lot of money. US authorities have offered the $7,500 tax credit for EVs. Now, half of that is for the batteries. So basically, what the US wants and what they're demanding is that car manufacturers get their batteries now from places outside of China. As of next year, if the batteries come from China, they don't qualify anymore for the EV incentives. And what Japan is saying is, well, you know what? We're losing out in China. China's the biggest car market in the world. Our sales are collapsing in China. And what are we going to do about it? Obviously, the writing is on the wall. We don't make EVs. We haven't taken it seriously. We thought they were a joke. We thought we could hold on to a legacy, but that's changing really quickly. So they're starting to panic and think, well, maybe we can just adapt to become a battery manufacturing powerhouse. Is this feasible? Well, no, I don't think it's feasible. I don't really think it's, in fact, I think it's pie in the sky. The reason being, it takes years to build the capacity to refine lithium from its raw material, refine it, turn it into batteries, and build the battery production lines and the factories that are needed. Now, will Japan do this? Yeah, for sure. But Japan is, unfortunately for them, way behind the United States. Probably sounds crazy, but the truth is here that because of US policies over the past 18 months, the obviously tax incentives, the many billions of dollars being handed out by the Biden administration for battery manufacturing, the industry has changed so quickly here. So I think Japan has waited way too long here. They've missed the horse. There will be way more than enough batteries than what are needed for the entire North American car market and companies to have EVs, to have battery storage, to just electrify everything. There's more than enough based on the plans today. If no companies from today onwards were to announce any additional battery factories, we would still have an oversupply based on what has already been announced, based on what is already happening. There's massive development of EV batteries, and all of that is already well and truly underway. Unfortunately, I really do think Japan has left it too late. Now, when it comes to refining lithium, though, that's a different story. Japan definitely could focus on gaining the ability to refine lithium, but I also think that's going to take them several years. And then it will still be a tough competition to really still gain that market share. It's going to be a really difficult road for Japan over the next decade. I don't envy their position. I really feel actually genuinely sorry for the Japanese people because I feel like an economic tsunami is coming for Japan. This is kind of like an emergency thing that Japanese politicians are hoping they can pull a rabbit out of the hat, but I just think it's too late. But guys, I could be wrong on this. What are your thoughts? Let me know in the comments what you think. Thank you for watching.